Hello everybody! Today we will prepare onion rings of varying complexity. The first will be prepared in 1 minute, the second in an hour, and the third for a whole day. So our minute has started. For the breading, pour the heavy cream into a bowl. Add salt to the flour to make the taste richer. Now for the onion. Quickly cut it into rings. Remove the husk. We will use 2-layer rings. Now let's put them in the flour. Then in the cream, and in the flour again. Whew, they're done. It remains only to fry them in hot oil. They very quickly acquire a golden crust, and you can get them out. Our most standard onion rings are ready in 1 minute. Let's try them. Inside is a sweet onion, outside is a salty breading. Not bad. We have a whole hour to prepare the second onion rings. There is enough time, so this time we clean the onion carefully. Done. Now cut it into wide rings. We will cut 3 onions at once, so that we can then choose the most ideal rings. We divide the rings among themselves and dump them into a bowl. Now you will need some ajika. Open the jar and pour it into the bowl with the onion rings. Mix well with a spatula. Now leave it to marinate. In the meantime, we'll make some Japanese panko breadcrumbs. To do this, we cut off the peel from the toast. We don't need it here. Now we just need the pure white crumbs. Put this all into a blender. And put it into the stand mixer. And turn our fresh bread into crumbs. Done. Remove the blender from the stand mixer and pour the breadcrumbs onto a baking sheet. We distribute it by hand to get a uniform layer. Then we shove it into the oven to dry. As a liquid component for the breading, this time we'll use eggs. We'll break them into a bowl. Mix them well with a whisk. You'll also need flour. We take our panko breadcrumbs out of the oven. They're very crispy. So let's put them into the bowl. Suluguni cheese will go inside the rings. We cut it into slices. And then in half again. So our onion rings have been marinating for 40 minutes. It's time to get them out of the marinade. We select the rings so that there is space in between them. Fill it with suluguni cheese. Now we fill all the rings. Now we're going to start the breading with flour. It'll absorb the excess moisture, which is now on the surface of the rings. Then we lower it into the beaten egg to wet it. The last layer is our panko breadcrumbs. We roll it well so that there are no gaps. Now we spread these out onto a cutting board, and we'll bread our remaining rings. In total, we have prepared 7 perfectly beautiful rings. A saucepan is on the stove. Fill it half with oil. When it's warmed up, fry the onion rings. It takes just literally 40 seconds, and until the cheese starts to flow out, we get them. Now fry the next batch. Our 1-hour onion rings are ready. Well, let's try them. These are much better than the first rings. They're crispier, have a slight taste of adjika and the stretchy cheese. It's just awesome. We have a whole day to prepare the last most restaurant-style onion rings. Now let's cut thin strips of prosciutto. This is an Italian ham made from pork. Now we put the prosciutto pieces into a donut mold. Done. For these rings, we will use the sweetest shallots. Cut off the root, the tail, cut the husk off, and remove it. So we've cleaned all of the bulbs. Now cut them in half and chop into half small rings. You need to do this with all of the bulbs. Done. We put these into a frying pan. Dried tomatoes will also be needed. We take them out of the jar. Finally chop them. Done. We also send these into the frying pan. Chop just 1 clove of garlic. And throw it in there too. You will need 1 sprig of thyme. We only need the leaves. They have all the flavors. We will also add some of the fragrant oil from the dried tomatoes. And as we fry it all up, let's salt and pepper our onions. They've been fried and become soft. A little fruitiness will be given from red wine. Open it up. And toss in quite a bit. At the end, let's throw in some Parmesan. It has a very powerful flavor, so don't overdo it so as to not overflow the taste of the onions. Mix in some Parmesan. Our perfect onion filling is ready. Remove this from the stove and fill the mold with prosciutto. Now all this needs to be properly frozen. 8 hours later, the onion was thoroughly frozen. We take it out of the mold, and we're left with these perfect little things. We roll them first in flour, then in the egg wash, back to the flour, back to the egg wash, and into the panko breadcrumbs. Our large onion rings are finished. It's time to deep fry them. They were fried for 2 whole minutes. Finally, we get them out. And the second batch is also fried. But if you thought that was it, then no. We will make a seasoning in order to sprinkle them with. To do this, cut the pulp from a bell pepper. Cut it into thin strips. Also thinly slice the tomato. And chili pepper. We put all this on a rack. We send all of this into the oven to dry at a temperature of 70 degrees. Let's take out our dried vegetables. We'll transfer these to a coffee grinder and turn them into a powder. Done. Now you just need to sprinkle the onion rings with this tomato seasoning. And now they're finally ready. Let's try them. These are freaking delicious. Instead of the usual onion, here we've got glazed onion with such an Italian taste, and also prosciutto, which is 10 out of 10. Write in the comments what else can I cook in 1 minute, in 1 hour, and in 1 day. Subscribe to our channel and give this video your likes, and bye everybody.